Hi everyone, my name is Marie Jandi. So welcome to our communication audit presentation. In today's fast-paced business environment, effective communication is essential for delivering excellent customer service and building strong relationships. This presentation will walk you through our comprehensive communication audit of the Packard Parts Customer Call Center. We will explore how messages are exchanged, pinpoint strengths and challenges, and highlight opportunities for improvement. Our goal is to offer actionable insights that will enhance both employee engagement and the overall customer experience. Let's get started on our journey to better communication at Packard Parts.
Hi, my name is Claudia Domingo, and I will be presenting the auditing team, starting with Marie Dandy, myself, John Hazek, Julia Humphreys, and Alania Somos.
Hello, my name is John Hassick, and today we will be discussing our communication audit of the Packard Parts Customer Call Center. The purpose of this communication audit is to investigate the effectiveness of organizational communication. During this process, we will learn about our organization of interest, identify our research perspective and approach, as well as discuss the data we collected through our interview with a member of the leadership team in the Packard Parts Customer Call Center. We will discuss our analysis of that data to identify important organizational communication themes, and we will evaluate the results. We will also consider the limitations of this investigation, provide organizational recommendations, and conclude our assessment.
Hi, my name is Jolie Humphreys, and I will be expanding on our organization as well as discussing the perspectives and approaches that we utilized when conducting this communication audit. Our organization, Packard Parts Customer Call Center, is located in Renton, Washington. Packard Parts is a subdivision of Packard Incorporated and functions to provide roadside and technical support for Packard's commercial truck services. Whatever the problem may be, Packard Parts Customer Call Center describes itself as a 365 center aimed at communicating its availability to customers 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and 365 days of the year. The culture of Packard Parts Customer Call Center is that of a customer-oriented workplace, as described by their mission of utilizing what they call Total Customer Solutions 365 technology, otherwise known as TCS 365, to provide 7 days a week and 24 hours a day of the highest level of uptime support to their truckers, valuing quality, innovation, growth, and improvement. Some perspectives and approaches that we utilized when conducting this communication audit consist of systems theory as well as the grounded theory. We use systems theory as our organizational perspective, aiming to examine the interactions, interdependence, and outcomes within Packard Parts organizational structures. As for the grounded theory, we utilize this methodology as our research strategy because it allowed our team to apply inductive reasoning in our qualitative data analysis.
Hi, my name is Alania Somos, and I'll be presenting data collection process. To gather information for our communication audit, our team conducted a one-on-one interview with a member of the leadership team at the Packard Parts Customer Call Center. We chose this qualitative method of data collection over surveys or quantitative tools because we felt that a direct interview would give a deeper, more nuanced insight into our research question. Our goal was to better understand the effectiveness of intra-organizational communication within this specific workplace context. The interview was conducted by our auditing team with Leilani Lizardo, a supervisor at the Packard Parts Customer Call Center. Her perspective gave us valuable information about internal communication practices, leadership strategies, and day-to-day communication challenges and successes within the organization.
Hi, it's Marie Jandi again. So next slide, we have discussion of methodology, data analysis. Our communication audit methodology centers on three critical dimensions of organizational communication: policy and procedure communication, team communication, and feedback communications. By focusing our interview questions on these three areas, we created a structured framework that allowed us to examine the most essential communication processes while keeping our analysis manageable and meaningful. These dimensions were selected based on previous research, indicating they represent the core channels through which organizational information flows. After collecting interview data, our team conducted a thematic analysis to identify recurring patterns and organizational themes. We examined both the question we posed and the responses we received, looking for consistencies, contradiction, and unexpected insight. We then consider how these themes connected to broader organizational challenges and opportunities, mapping communication pathway to identify bottlenecks and area of excellence. This analytical approach enables us to move beyond anecdotal evidence to develop data-driven recommendations that address systemic communication issues within our organization.
Hi, this is Claudia Domingo again. I'm going to talk about the results of the data thematic analysis. The Packard Parts Customer Call Center relies on effective organizational communication to facilitate seamless interactions between leadership and customer service representatives. By examining linear, interactive, and transactional communication models, the auditing team assessed how information flows through various networks, including social, problem solving, and knowledge sharing structures. The interview with Supervisor Leilani Lizardo provided valuable insights into how mission, values, and rituals shape the organization's culture and cohesion, influencing communication effectiveness. Additionally, the audit explored downward and upward communication channels, highlighting areas of strength and opportunities for improvement in policy, team dynamics, and feedback mechanisms. Leadership behaviors, including transformational leadership and democratic decision making, emerge as key factors in fostering engagement and responsiveness within the call center. Finally, analyzing decision making processes, such as rational and intuitive approaches, allow for deeper understanding of how Packard Parts adapts to challenges and drives organizational change.
Hello, this is John Hassick again. The data we collected during our communication audit inferred that within the Packard Parts customer call center, the major organizational communication themes identified during our data analysis process suggest that the Packard Parts customer call center values effective organizational communication, supports employee input that assists in communication improvements, and strives to continuously enhance its communication systems and practices. Also, in terms of organizational communication more broadly, the major themes identified during our data analysis process suggest that successful organizational communication requires an extensive understanding of a multitude of organizational processes, communication methods, leadership competencies, social dynamics, motivational strategies, as well as individual perspectives and needs.
Hi there, Jolie again, and I will be continuing on with discussing some of the limitations that our team faced when conducting our communication audit, as well as some of the recommendations that we suggest following the findings of our communication audit. We experienced two limitations: the perspective and access to the Packard Parts customer call center, as well as the limitations that we were faced with in regard to the approach we used to gather data. The systems theory perspective that our team utilized was concerned with the broad function of the organization's communication as a whole, rather than allowing us to hone in on the specific features of the communication channels within the organization. By analyzing the system broadly, we recognize now that we may have neglected some of the qualitative data that a systems theory approach just cannot provide. Additionally, our information gathered was dependent on the degree of accessible sources to the company that we had, which could have also neglected empirical evaluation of the qualitative data we gathered, which has potential to result in subjective, not objective analysis of the data. Additionally, the time availability restricted the scale and scope of our research and data collection processes. Our team recommends that the PACCAR Parts Customer Call Center focus on 2 lanes of improvement. One being a continuous improvement of the communication systems currently in place, as well as a suggestion for advancement. The PACCAR Parts Customer Call Center has several processes in place to gather feedback and improve upon their organizational communication. These processes outlined within our communication audit are essential to achieving effective organizational communication, and we recommend the maintaining and advancing of these processes to ensure the organizational communication system within the organization grows with the company. Additionally, we recommend that the organization consider new technologies as needed for communication system updates. After all, organizations are a living system and should be treated as such, allowing room for adaptation and always looking for ways to grow.
Hello, everyone. In our communication audit, we identified several key themes central to our organizational effectiveness. These include organizational communication, organizational culture, communication networks, internal communication dynamics, leadership, and the roles of decision-making and change. Our findings suggest that successful organizational communication fosters effective information sharing, encourages employee input, and supports ongoing improvement. Moreover, constructive communication within organization relies on a wide range of processes, such as diverse communication methods, strong leadership competencies, positive social dynamics and motivational strategies, and an appreciation of individual perspectives. Reflections and insights. While conducting this audit, we recognize some limitations in our approach, such as the scope of our organizational perspective, the source we use, our research methodology, and time constraints. Based on these insights, we recommend the continued use of communication assessments and updated technologies to improve communication systems and processes. Overall, this audit highlighted just how complex and essential inter-organizational communication really is. The process has introduced us to new concepts, research tools, and methods of analysis that we believe will benefit us not only in the future coursework, but also in our professional careers.